Good day to you, family. Lyle Charles Emmanuel here, #1 best-selling author of Survival and a life transformation coach. Never mind the fact that I'm not on camera today, okay? Because I know that the information I'm going to be sharing with you today is much more important than you seeing my face on camera. And I'm sure you do agree with me on this point. Alright, that being stated, let's get into the content of today's video. We are talking about 7 steps to turn your story to a profitable side income. And straight up, the first step to turn your story to a profitable side income is to brainstorm the major events, major happenings, major experiences or occurrences of your life that you could likely turn into a story. I mean, if you're watching this video, I want to assume that you'll be at least over 20 years of age. From the time you were born up until whatever age it is you have right now, there are a lot of experiences that have happened in your life, a lot of things that have taken place in your life. You can remember occurrences from your childhood. Maybe your dad left your mom and then your mom raised you as a single parent. All right, then you became a teenager, you went to school, probably you faced bullying in your school and something in that nature. So what I'm just trying to say is that you've had so many experiences, you've had so many occurrences. Probably you were even once married, but right now you are divorced. So many things have occurred in your life. You have so many stories. Your life is like a compendium of stories. So the first thing you want to do is to brainstorm all the major occurrences and happenings that have affected and impacted your life so strongly. Get all of these stories out and put them on a sheet of paper. Just get yourself a sheet of white paper, a transparent paper, nothing has been written on it before. Then highlight or document each of these life-changing occurrences on this paper. You don't need to write out the stories in full, but like I said earlier on, maybe when you were young, your dad left your mom and then you were raised by just your mom alone. Put that there. You got to your teenagers, something happened that really affected you. Put that there. When you were in your mid-20s, something happened. So you don't really need to write the stories in full, but every single thing that connotes a major occurrence in your life, puts on a sheet of paper. So that's step 1 to turn your story into a side income. And then the second step right now is to identify your biggest pain or your biggest failure or your biggest disappointment. It's very simple. Of all the stories you have documented on the paper, which one has affected your life the most? Which one has impacted your life tremendously? Which one has caused you the biggest pain, biggest disappointment, biggest failure in life? Which one was like a life-altering experience? Which one has affected you the most? Tick that one. You are going to turn that one most likely into your side income. But at least I'm not sure and we are not certain that may be the one that will go for your side income, and it may not be the one that will go, but at least which one has really stirred up so much emotions in your life, which ones has really caused you the most pain, the most disappointment, the most failure. Just tick that one, note that one. It will probably, not 100%, probably be the one you will zero in as a source of your side income. Now, the third step, find the root cause of the problem. All right, this is what I'm saying. From the story you highlighted in step 2 as being the one that has affected your life the most, what caused or what led to that occurrence in your life? What led to that situation in your life? What led to this particular event that has caused you so much pain, so much heartache, so much frustration? This is what you are going to find out in step 3. Find the root cause of the pain. For example, while I have so many stories I could likely talk about in my life, while I have so many things that happened to me in life, one of the stories that really affected my life and was like a game changer for me in life was my story of how I got married to my husband and I lost myself in my marriage. And when I traced the root cause of the problem, I discovered that it was because of the wrong information I was exposed to in the society, because of the wrong talks I was exposed to while I was growing up, because of the traditional mindset prevalent in my environment, because of the religious talks, empty religious talks that I was subjected to while growing up as a child. What I learned in my environment was that, okay, marriage is such a huge achievement in life, and it doesn't matter how fulfilled you are career-wise, it doesn't matter what accomplishments you bring about in your life, except you are married, you are not fulfilled. And then also in the church, we're taught that, okay, when you get married to a man, you are his helpmate. So you are there to complete him. You are there to make his purpose come alive. You are there to see that his purpose gets fulfilled in this world. But nobody talks about, they didn't talk about the flip side, that even while you are being a helpmate to your man, you are supposed to be doing something to contribute your quota to this world. You are supposed to find your purpose, find your life, find everything. So what I discovered led to my loss of self in my relationship, and then later my marriage, was because I grew up listening to the wrong kind of information. So that was the root cause for my loss of self. What is the root cause for the biggest problem, biggest life-changing experience you have had in your life? You need to find the root cause, because if you don't find the root cause, you cannot address the problem appropriately in your own life, and you cannot help another person to address and solve the problem appropriately in their own lives. If you just let me make reference to medicine. For example, somebody might be running a high temperature, and the person's head may be aching him, and then we can just give the person paracetamol, and of course the paracetamol will fulfill its function. The paracetamol can get the temperature to subside, it can get the headache to subside, only for the person to start experiencing the same symptoms all over again in 6 hours time. And then we give the person paracetamol again. It addresses the high temperature and the headache, and the person is okay temporarily, and then 6 hours later the person is down with a high fever again. The reason that will happen is because with the paracetamol, we have only been treating the symptoms, but what we're supposed to do in the first instance was to find out the root cause for that high temperature and the headache. Once we attack the root cause, the symptoms will also subside. But if we keep treating symptoms, the problem will keep manifesting every now and then again. So that's why it's important to find out the root cause of that particular problem, that particular challenge, that particular experience or occurrence that you went through in life. What led to it? Step 4. Now, in step 4, you've got to determine how the pain could have been avoided. Determine how the pain could have been avoided. You ask yourself, this experience you had that has really affected your life in such a negative way, how could it have been avoided? For example, using my own story again, my own experience was that I lost myself in marriage. I didn't know who I was. I became like a zombie. I had no life, nothing, no achievement, no accomplishment, no dreams, no goals, nothing. That is one of my biggest pains in life. Alright, so how could I have avoided this pain? I already identified the root cause in step 3. Don't forget that I said it was because of the wrong information, wrong programming I had while I was growing up. So how I could have avoided that pain is that I should have taken out time to study the Bible for myself. I should have taken out time to study self-development books for myself. If I didn't rely on hearsay, what was said in the society about marriage being such a big achievement, or what was said in the church about the woman being a helpmate, and then they didn't talk about a woman finding her purpose and living it. Like if I had heard of those things, and then I'd gone back to the Word of God, studied the Word of God for myself. I'd gotten books written by authorities on finding your purpose, fulfilling your purpose, making a difference in this world. For Christ's sake, I would have been immune from the information I received in the society when I was growing up. I would have been able to avoid losing myself in my marriage. So, in your own story, in your own situation too, that experience you went through, it could have been avoided. So determine how that could have been avoided, and then you have steps 4 locked down. Now your step 5, turning your story to profitable side income. What are the major lessons you learned from the experience? This story you want to turn into a side income. What are the major lessons you learned from it after you came out of that situation? For example, after I came out of that situation of losing myself in my marriage, I've already learned many lessons, and one of them is this, that it doesn't matter that you are married, even if it's, whether it's to a successful man, to a not successful man, you should have your own life. And then I also learned that there is actually a way you can have a thriving marriage and a thriving, productive individual life. I also learned that marriage is not your biggest achievement as a human being on earth. Fulfilling purpose should be your biggest achievement. So I've learned a variety of life lessons from my experience. So what have you learned from your own experience? That experience that has influenced your life so greatly. What lessons have you learned from it? You want to identify that. That's your 5th step. So moving on to the 6th step, step 6 on your journey to turn your story to a profitable side income. What you do in step 6 is this: you are going to turn all of these your experiences into a curriculum of principles. Something like an organized study pattern, so that anybody who has found himself or herself in a similar situation like yours can go through this curriculum and be able to come out of the situation like you have been able to come out of it. So here is what your curriculum will include. Remember that in step 3, you've already found out the root cause of the pain. Like I explained to you, in my own situation, the reason why I lost myself in marriage was because of the wrong programming I had whilst I was growing up. So the root cause of your own pain, you are going to include it in your curriculum. Also, in step 4, you discovered how the pain could have been avoided. In my own situation, what I needed to have done was to have gotten myself knowledge, information, both from the Word of God and from books written by authority figures in the society. So that was how my pain could have been avoided. The same thing you discovered for yourself, how your pain could have been avoided, you will include it in your curriculum. And lastly, the major lessons you learned from your pain, you are going to include it in your curriculum. And guess what? When you put all of this together, it kind of forms an organized study pattern, so that anybody in a similar situation can pick it up, and then the person knows, oh, this is the root cause of my problem. Wow, this is how it could have been avoided. All right, these are the lessons. This is what I can expect when I come out of the situation. So you have your curriculum locked down with that. And then lastly, the 7th step to turning your story to a profitable side income is that you will turn your curriculum into a suite of products or services. Now, let's be frank with ourselves. It doesn't matter how beautiful your story is, or it doesn't matter how ugly it is, it doesn't matter how touching it is. Your story itself, it's not what people will pay for. What people pay for in the world is packaging, it's branding, it's the extra touch up you had to it at the end of the day that turns it into a product or into a service. So you cannot, your story is just your story on its own, and all of these steps I taught you is just like raw gold.
Nobody wants to pay for raw gold because nobody even knows the value. It is dirty, it has dirt. We don't know how much gold is actually included in that raw gold. It is after it has been taken to where to be refined, and then the dirt and everything is scraped from it. Then we see the gold itself, and then we can weigh it, and then we know, okay, this is the value of gold we have in our hands. It is the same thing. For you to earn money from your story, it must of necessity be turned into a suite of products and services. Nobody will pay you just for telling your story or something like that. So friends, I really wish, I trust that I've been able to help you adequately by sharing my 7 steps to turning your story into a profitable side income. And then from all I've said, I can see that you have 3 different options. Number 1, you can say, oh fine, Liar, thank you very much for the information you shared, but this information, it's not for me. And guess what? You continue living your life as usual, depending on a man, or depending on a job, or depending on a government aid for your daily living. That's your first option. And then the second option you actually have is to take all the 7 steps I shared with you and try to figure out a way around them, how you do them by yourself, try your hands on them, and then use it to start making a side income for yourself, while you also, of course, impact lives with your story. But then the thing is this: do you really have the time to invest into trying out all these things yourself? Do you have the energy? For example, maybe you are a mother and you have 2 kids. With your 2 kids and with a job you are doing, do you really have the time to start doing trial and error with all that I've shared with you? Probably not. And then the third option you have is to actually let me help you with my proven system to turn your story into a viable source of income in just 4 weeks. It means that in just 4 weeks, you can have your suite of products ready for offer on the market and get people to start paying you for them. Alright, so before you take any of my options, let me ask you a question. What is the value of your story to you? Number 1, to me, I think with your story, you can make an impact in the lives of so many people. Secondly, you can also create a source of income for yourself from your story. Whatever your goals are, I like to let you know that I have simplified the process for you in my masterclass, where I will show you exactly how to go about impacting the lives of so many people with your story while you also earn money at the same time. Alright, I want to share some ugly facts with you. Anyways, 1, when we talk about getting extra money, extra bucks for yourself, what most people tell you to do is to take up another job, or probably start a small business, become an entrepreneur, or they tell you to start this network marketing. You get 1 person and that person gets 1 person and all of that. Anyways, imagine now that somebody walked up to you at the airport 3 months from now to thank you for your training program created out of your story. Also, imagine that you are ending this year with a transformational product that was born out of your story that is changing the lives of people all over the world while also paying your bills and increasing your income. What is that going to feel like or look like to you? And you don't need to imagine too much, because that is what I am actually going to help you to do with my Story to Income Masterclass. Stop dreaming and wishing you had another source of income when you have a story and a message that can change people's lives dramatically. I'm introducing to you my Story to Income Masterclass. It is the only program you will ever need to turn your wealth of experience and life lessons into a product or service that people line up to pay you for. It is also designed to guide you step by step through the process of extracting life principles and lessons from your life story and turning them into a product or service that people are willing to pay you for. It is a proven system that only takes about 90 minutes of your time and leaves you with myriads of products or services to change the world with. Here are the details of the program. It's a 90 minutes long video training program that will be delivered to you via a Facebook Live broadcast in a private Facebook group. During our 90 minutes together, here are some of the things you will discover. 1. How to find your exact life-changing story. I know you have so many stories, but there is one that you should zero in on, or there are a few that you should zero in on that will fetch you your goal of both impacting people and making money. So I'm going to be showing you how to find out that exact story. Secondly, you will discover proven steps to extract life lessons and principles from your story. This is something you can apply again and again and again to any story. You can start with a story and then apply it to a second one and then a third one, and you get to know it for yourself. Proven steps to extract life lessons and principles from your story. Also, you will discover how to create a training curriculum out of your life lessons. You will also discover my 5-step formula for teaching anything, even if you don't like to teach. And lastly, you will discover 7 different formats of transformational products you can create, including one you can create in only 24 hours. Who is this masterclass for? 1. It's for married women looking to earn an extra source of income to support their families. Secondly, it's for single mothers seeking out ways to earn money to take care of themselves and their children. And lastly, it's for single women who are not yet financially independent. What are the benefits of my Story to Income Masterclass? 1. You have financial security. Secondly, you have peace of mind free from agitation of worrying about money, bills, rent. Thirdly, you have the freedom to do anything you want to do for yourself. And lastly, you have self-respect. You are no longer dependent on people, government, borrowing money from somewhere. You have self-respect. So, how is this training going to be delivered? The training is going to hold live on Facebook on Thursday, the 1st of December 2016. I'm so excited about this particular date because it means that you will be ending your year with your own products coined or bettered from your own life story and experiences. So the training is going to hold live on Facebook on Thursday, the 1st of December 2016 at 7 p.m. Kyiv time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time, 5 p.m. UK time, and 1 p.m. Eastern time. This training is going to hold inside a private Facebook group. And what you are going to get, apart from the information you are going to get from this training program, is that you are going to be getting my teaching slides, the slides I use in teaching that day. You will also get a workbook. You'll get a video recording of the session and a 30 minutes of question and answer with me. The good news is this: as soon as the masterclass is over, the whole training will be made available for purchase on my website for $297. But then the good news is that for those who register today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow, you only get to pay $129 for this awesome value I'm bringing your way. Plus, you can attend the Facebook session live and ask me your questions in person. And this is an opportunity that those who will be getting the recording from my website will not have access to. Now, what is this worth to you? I mean, what is having your story in a digital format that anyone from any part of the world can access and be impacted by, even when you are sleeping? What is it worth to you? I want you to answer that question for yourself. And my fast action bonus, I have a fast action bonus only for those who purchase my Story to Income Masterclass before Cyber Monday is over, that is before the end of 28 November 2016, before the end of tomorrow. I've spoken with my husband to throw in a really juicy bonus for you. Now, this bonus is actually a training session where it will teach you where you can find real people looking to learn from your story right now. So you just don't have a product, but you also know where you can find people who are already on the lookout for your product. So you're not the one trying to convince them, buy my product. They're already looking out for you. So it's going to show you where to find these people. And guess what? That training alone is worth $97, but it's going to be giving it to you free of charge, provided you register for the Story to Income Masterclass before the end of Cyber Monday, 28th November 2016. Now, I have a money back guarantee. If you purchase my program, the Story to Income Masterclass, and you do not agree that it is worth every penny I said it's worth, then I will refund every penny of your money to you. No questions asked and no hassles. So right now, to get yourself registered and booked for my Story to Income Masterclass, hurry up. Go to www.layocharlesemmanuel.com/STIM. layocharlesemmanuel.com/Story to Income Masterclass/STIM. So the short form of Story to Income Masterclass, layocharlesemmanuel.com/STIM. For this masterclass, registration closes on Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Kyiv time, 10:59 p.m. Nigerian time, 9:59 p.m. UK time, and 5:59 p.m. Eastern time. Alright, so you don't miss out on it. Once it's 11:59 p.m. Kyiv time, 10:59 p.m. Nigerian time, 9:59 p.m. UK time, and 5:59 p.m. Eastern time, you will not have access to this training program again. So hurry up now and purchase this masterclass. Alright, so this brings us to the end of this training program. Thank you so very much for joining me in on this video. I am so grateful that you spent your time with me. I look forward to your story changing lives all over the globe, and I look forward to you being finally free from money and all its hassles. Until I come your way again, I remain Layo Charles Emmanuel. Bye bye.